Welcome, everyone, to the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Konrad here.
Dylan.
Hilton.
George.
And welcome to this week. We are without a guest. Our guest, unfortunately, who was supposed to join us today, was not able to make it. They were stuck in traffic. Dog ran across the road. Bird flew into the windshield. Fish jumped onto the front. I don't know what the excuse was. But anyways, so it is just us four gentlemen, as always. We are all lighting up our cigars. It was my turn this week to bring in the cigars, and so far these things are smelling pretty good.
Yes.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
It's pure candy. We'll talk about it in the cigar review.
It seems like candy for kids.
I just said it.
Yeah.
And that's how I just stole your idea.
Oh my god!
In school, when someone says you say something hilarious and someone steals your joke, and then everybody laughs because he said it a little louder than you.
For a second, I thought I was a ghost.
Yeah.
Really, for a second.
It's not always the worst thing.
No,
I feel like being a ghost
I think
would
as a
have
compliment.
its perks,
Oh, okay.
Don't you?
Really?
I don't know.
Well,
I feel like it could.
I'm just about to finish this book that I read when I was 18. Memórias Póstumas de Brás Cubas. It's a Brazilian. Have you read it, Hilton?
Say that three times fast.
I might. Don't remember.
Okay,
I
so
might
basically the whole, the premise of the book is that the main narrator is dead. So he retells his story, his whole past, or things are happening in the present, but from a dead, death perspective, right? So so I can see many benefits. Okay, everyone is writing. Oh my goodness! I was like,
I'm writing about the cigar, but
yeah, I know.
keep on going because I'm listening.
But the three of you, like at the same time,
Hey, we had a podcast last week saying that we are all great multitaskers, right?
The opposite.
That's
The opposite. So yeah.
It's like, do we all watch the same episode?
And remember, it's not only us in the room. We have an audience of thousands of people that watch our podcast.
Yes.
Right. Well, I missed out on last week's, so.
You did.
It's a great podcast. Unfortunately, you weren't here to join us. I had to play the role of Dylan.
I know, you were getting some
Ben.
crap from the rest of the panel.
And yeah, I feel Ben was me.
Yeah, Ben played
Yeah,
Konrad.
they said Ben was a better Konrad than Konrad, and
Yeah.
Konrad was a bad. I don't think you deserved that, man. You did a great job.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
These are big shoes to fill, and you did a great job.
When Eddie went to watch that past podcast, I only had 3 puffs of that cigar, and then I just had to call it quits.
A giant one?
Yeah, that's all I could take. But I have good reason, and I've noticed this with my body. I will, if I start feeling sick or I'm coming down with something, I just cannot smoke a cigar. I will take a couple of puffs. It starts just acting weird, not sitting right in my mouth and my taste buds, and then I just have to let it go. And and this has happened past episodes here, and I've always felt bad, just leaving the cigar go or not finishing it or just having a couple of puffs. But that's the way that's the way my body operates. It's kind of like a fortune telling of what's to be anticipated if I'm feeling a little sick or I'm about to be sick.
How often do you respect that? Do you think you respect
Not
it
enough.
and listen to your body, your instinct?
Now more. Now that I have like telltale signs of things that are going to happen, that I'm like, okay, be on the lookout. Like this is a possibility. So I'm going to start paying attention to it more. But now I was like recollecting past, times where I was a little sick or, just not feeling off. I'd have a little bit of a cigar and I'm like, I'm just not into it today, and some days are like that.
And it's not only about cigars, right? It's about food. It's about, like even going out. I mean, whatever you don't feel like, you got to respect your instincts, your body instincts.
Exactly.
Oh, it's just because you're a pussy.
How dare you?
Did I say that out loud?
I am what I eat. Okay. You know.
I was just gonna say, your body, your choice.
That's a
man.
freaking good one.
Yeah, I know it's a good one. Should we get into the cigar review?
Why?
I've had a couple of puffs and I'm really enjoying this. I've got some things to talk about.
Okay. We'll be back for after the cigar review. We are back.
We are back.
Like we never left.
I could have brought us cappuccinos. That would be perfect.
I feel like
Next time. Let's try it again. One of these days.
yeah, we'll do that and have some cappuccinos and stuff like that.
I can get you a cup of coffee if you want.
No, I'm okay.
It's got to be a cappuccino. Or a mocha.
A cappuccino after 12 is not
I don't
allowed.
think so.
Yeah, well, not
come?
Italian. I have a 0% of Italian in my blood. It's an Italian thing. It's
just an Italian thing.
sacrilege.
Seriously.
It's a sacrilege.
I mean, I'm being very honest that I didn't know that.
It's a
And it's not
sacrilege.
about ordering before
Yes.
noon. It's drinking before noon. If you order like at 11:45, you must be gone with it by 11:59.
Yes.
Really?
You
Yeah.
shouldn't drink milk after midday.
They actually don't even serve you if you order a cappuccino after 12.
Sacrilege.
Huh. Very
They-
interesting.
They kick you out.
Is that just, I mean, obviously tradition and stuff like that, but I mean, is there like a,
And then
Deeper
it's
thing
something that
into
they
it?
make it up so that it
the milk
makes them
spoiled
a
in
little
the
different.
sun or something?
I don't know the geographic extension, right, of this, whatever. But I know that the ones that migrated to Brazil, for sure, they have this. I don't know if it's the whole Italy.
It is in Italy.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying that from the sources I know. I don't know if it's the whole Italy. It's at least from the descendants that went to Brazil, which is very different than the ones that came to the United States, for example.
Which Italians immigrated to Brazil? Southern
All over.
Italians, northern
In
Italians?
different times, different waves. They go in different waves. And there are lots of incentives, just like they had it here.
Yeah.
Well, there's moments in history also there was just like the hope of opportunity. Italy at a certain point was not doing well and people were starving, so they would flee to where there would be food. So
Right.
Isn't it ironic, right? Because now they complain about all these countries that do the same.
Yeah.
They're just 150 years ahead,
Yeah. That's very interesting.
right? So
Yeah,
it's just like
exactly.
it's just like Christians criticizing Muslims, in the year 1000, they're doing the Crusades and doing everything that the Muslims do, that they claim that the Muslims do. But now you can't. Yeah, but we had our period. Yeah, but you can't do that. 'Cause I'm telling you. Yeah, but you did. Yeah, that's why I learned. So pretty hard to, to deal with that.
Yeah.
is hypocrisy the
I
subject
didn't want to
today?
say that. Yeah, I did. No, that's why. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go that route.
'Cause,
Hypocrisy, double standards.
I know this one guy that goes to this one church and he's a politician, so I can invite him over. It's an inside joke that Dylan knows about. If you guys want to talk about religion and politics at the same time,
Dylan's eyes just got really wide when he started talking about it. He was like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
let's
You
not
guys
do
are going
that.
to do that.
Got to take care of the ether.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's your podcast.
It's not mine. It's Konrad's. He's the host.
Yeah, thank you, guys. You know what? But I feel like hypocrisy is one of the worst traits to have. Because you know better. You absolutely know better. A person knows better. A section of people knows better. A tribe of people know better than to do something, because it has been proven and it has been shown that you shouldn't do something, and then that person goes ahead and does it. You know, the hypocrisy of it, and especially the act of saying one thing and then doing another. You know.
Yeah, not walking the talk, but talking and not walking.
Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the other thing is also like more history, right? So what is common sense today may not have been a common sense in the past. That could be seen as a little bit of hypocrisy because it was a different time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like what is right and wrong, these kind of things. But then it's like creating words
but how
for
much
things.
in history have to go back in
Yes.
order to justify that? For example, something you said on Twitter in 2012, can't you change? Or you are what you said that day? Are you the same person?
You are a slave to your words.
Are you?
Well, that's the thing. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was the podcast 999 of these podcasts. So they're like celebrating the 1,000 podcasts last week, probably. So I listened to the previous week. And during the podcast, they were saying like, hey, we said things, blah, 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 and then we changed. And they're talking about things that they said like in 2018. And it's not even 10 years. And then now we changed it for better, things like that. They, what they're saying. I don't agree that they changed for better. I think to me, they changed it for worse, but that's my view. But I still listen to them because they're fun to listen to.
Right.
But, they said that they changed, and what they said is not the truth. The true, what they believe at the time. The time it was true what they believed at, but now they're different. So, like how long you go back, like in 2012, it's even longer, right? On that example that George was saying, with these other guys and saying something about in 2016, 2017.
Guys, we have always new evidences. We mature. We admit we are wrong.
I might be a person today
hope.
that I was completely different last week, right?
For sure.
For some reason, some new information that I got. I don't know.
Well, and that's it. And obviously, looking back in history, it's also hard to... It's really hard to judge because of education being suppressed to the masses. It hasn't been not even just 100, 200. I'll give 200 years. 200 years that a majority of the masses now have the ability to read, write, and properly communicate. Past that, only higher affluent people had access to books, had the ability to read, had the ability to think creatively and explore words and explore poetry, plays, make art out of the words that were spoken. Where the masses had no idea what was being said, or they knew what was being said, but they didn't know some of the words that were being said, or couldn't read the play of what was happening. So it's only been just recently that mass education has been readily available.
Yeah, I agree with that. But again, the education is driven by whom? By they?
King.
Huh?
The government?
No, they. They put the education out there for you.
Yeah, that is true.
Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Illuminati.
The Watchers.
The Watchers of the world.
We don't, I don't know much about, like Illuminati and stuff. It would be cool to kind of deep dive into learning some of these history to try to understand.
Dylan's our resident expert. He is an ex-Illuminati agent. So tell us, Dylan, what's the inside?
You're putting him on his spot.
What's an Illuminati meeting like?
The first rule of the Illuminati is there is no Illuminati. It's like the Fight Club.
There is no
yeah,
Fight
yeah,
Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is there? You know?
Do tell.
We'll break it down in the future. There's stuff out there. Bohemian Grove. Everybody keen to that?
Huh?
I didn't hear what you
The
said.
Bohemian Grove.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
A sacrificial place for politicians and executives to go to basically be baptized in the spirit of the Illuminati, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like you join the club or something, but
a
yeah,
rite
it's
or
like
something?
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, rite of passage.
I did not know that. You see, I don't know
Stuff.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that might change me for next week, you know.
Very ritualistic. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Get you an invitation.
I think that also speaks to the person as well. We experience hypocrisy all the time, you know? And then at what level do you either call it out or just stay quiet until you realize that that person's going to eventually grow and change their opinion?
Can't you get out of the situation?
I was gonna say that, so like just
I mean,
Well, and that's
Walk
part
away.
of, yeah, just be quiet, walk away, you know, get out of the situation for sure.
I'm saying that sometimes it's impossible to avoid, right? And then I understand you have to deal with. But you know what? I think I'm at the age that I think we should have professionals helping if you can't afford it. It's a cost. It's a cost of, you know, trying to do things the way it should be done. You either get out of that and count your losses, or you invest on that on someone who can support you, who can give you the basis you can do that in order to deal with that. You know, okay, that's hypocrisy. So let me talk to a psychologist, a coach. I'm going to look for someone who has been through that, and then you can deal with that. Otherwise, just get out of it. You know, you're going to waste your time. It's not going to be worth it.
Right.
what if you're in a conversation and, you know, it gets a little annoying and then you want to try and stick your point of view as well because it's kind of a debate kind of thing. And then you may not be able to get out of it because you're halfway through a cigar, for example. You know?
Yeah.
And it gets annoying. What do you think?
I think the truth sets you free. If someone's annoying you, just fucking tell them. Most people don't know that they're annoying you. They're kind of ignorant to that. They're probably ignorant to being hypocritical too, usually. A lot of us grow up hating things about the way our parents raised us, and then we raise children the exact same way. It's inherently built into us to repeat things like that, you know? And it's like, it's easy to find things we don't like, but are you breaking down at the end of the day and going, oh yeah, I did this. We're not typically self-criticizing ourselves enough to recognize how hypocritical that we're being. So to answer Konrad's question, I think it's not really like a cookie cutter thing. Depending on who you're talking to, you would do something different. And I guess it just depends on like how well do you know the person? Are they gonna be receptive to something you're saying, or you don't know this person that well and they're kind of just, it's gonna go in one ear out the other? In my opinion, if you could deal with the remaining 30-40 minutes of the conversation and just nod and wave, and you don't have to get into it, you know? You don't even have to give your opinion. You're
What's
kinda
there
getting
for you,
baited
man?
at
Yeah.
that point.
What's there for you, you know, to
Nothing.
engage into in a conflict that, why would that be worth it, you know? Probably I would, right now, probably I would avoid, you know, or change the subject. Man,
Yeah,
there are so many courses
can
and,
be, like,
and
gentle.
theories about that.
And direct at the same time, though. Like Hilton's pretty good at like soft people skills. And there's maybe this isn't the way to say it, but there's a way to say something like, "Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really not enjoying this conversation's making me like uncomfortable, or just kind of, can we talk about something else? Oh, sure, man. Like, people probably aren't expecting you to say that.
They're actually a pretty good way of saying
But
it.
if you're in your own head so much worrying about saying the wrong thing and how they're going to react, you're already in the wrong environment. You should just say things respectfully and just get your point across, because otherwise you are submitting yourself to that for way longer than you need to. So, I mean, there's many ways to do it, but most of the time we're not comfortable enough with somebody to be that direct. And that's why I said the truth will set you free. I think being direct is always a better thing to do. It's just harder to do.
German, I think there's thieves of time.
Yeah. That's what that is, exactly. And you don't get that
there's
back.
a word for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least so I heard. Yeah, I think we're not prepared for that. We should be taught about that. Have a thicker skin.
Yeah.
I think it might be this. Kind of everything is justifiable in order to create a conflict and be aggressive. It's a little bit of because we don't control much of our time. We have so many frustrations during the day, and then I had enough. Maybe I have one. I had enough a month. Maybe my level of stress is a little bit lower than yours. But how would I react if my level of stress was the same as yours? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So probably I don't know. I can't say, hey, I would do better. How do I know about that? I mean, I've been there many times and that doesn't happen. Every situation is different from the other, right? So
There's another tip I use sometimes. Like, you go to your settings app and you go to sounds and haptics. And you change the volume really quickly. And it plays your ringtone. You go, oh shit, I'm sorry, let me take this real quick. And you fake a phone call and you walk away. I use it on the daily. You don't want to deal with somebody, you fake a phone call.
That's why he walks away a lot.
Always. Hey, Dylan, how about those Cowboys?
Disengage.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call, Konrad.
Disengage. But that's a tactic. The same way when someone comes up to your window asking for money at a red light and you kind of just go like this. You just don't make eye contact. Just disengage.
Even when you answer, you don't look in the eye. You saw that they were walking, right? We don't mistreat, but we make very clear. That's it. Once, straight. Of course, it's easy for me. I'm tall. I'm tall. I might be intimidated for some. I don't play that, but it's important to create a theory. Again, a strategy that works for you. It doesn't matter if you're tall or if you're, short. It doesn't matter. Create just to find out what is your strategy to do with that.
I want to switch gears a little bit. So, for example, hypocrisy is a type of behavior, right? That is a little negative and stuff. What is a behavior that is actually positive that, everybody tries to aim for, that people want to strive? What is a good, type of behavior?
Like, are you saying your thought process was bad and then you changed and you're like, okay, I'm good now?
Like, no, for example, the opposite. Yeah, the opposite of hypocrisy, for example.
A trait, like as a trait, I think he's trying to say.
Like things that maybe in history did not change much, or things like that. Is there something like that we can, discuss a little bit?
Walk the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk the talk and
walk the walk.
Walk the walk.
Antonyms of hypocrisy include sincerity. Honesty was going to be my answer. I feel like the opposite of hypocrisy would be just genuineness, truthfulness, fairness, forthrightness, frankness, openness, righteousness, and integrity.
Okay, but some of these, right, history proves that it might be a little different. What was right before, now is not right. What wasn't right before, now it is.
Yes.
Okay, so on those words over there, On those words over there, Dylan, like the camera is in front of it. What is something that has changed the least in history? Can you try and point it out?
I feel like honesty is just honesty.
Honesty, yeah.
I think there's so much manipulation.
Fairness, I like fairness. You know, we use it a lot.
Yeah. But I feel like I mean, what's fair now is different than what would have been fair back
You're
then.
right. Yeah, that's not that good.
Code. I think honesty is the only one where it's like, if someone was truly being honest then and now it's the same, nothing's changed about
And it's
that.
very disputable.
Yeah.
In many situations,
And
we always think that, you know, I have the capacity to be judicious and understand this and that, but you don't know all the elements, you don't know everything, you know. So it's, when you talk about fairness, it's very difficult to you know.
There is two sides, and even those sides might have a different view.
Exactly.
We might have one topic here that and bring 20, 30 words regarding to that, and then 5 I would think it's fair. Maybe he's gonna say no, 10 is fair. Man, it's very hard to gauge, to measure this.
Well, and you could all agree on something, and then you could still have a straw man opinion on it to say, because you could also argue like the act of being fair hasn't changed. What is deemed fair has changed, but me trying to do the fair thing by you, that act isn't any different. It's just maybe you stole something, and fair is I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to cut your fingers off. Now it's like you stole something, and fair is, you know, you get a ticket or whatever. You know, like what happens changes, but the actual act of what you're doing hasn't changed. So it depends on, like, what
it's just the
argument
application
is.
of the law. Yes. Okay. I see
Gotcha.
that because it's a viewpoint. You know, for the society. You know, for what is considered at a certain point, and now it's not.
Which I think is more of a question of like morality, I guess, like moral compass, what you find to be like, that's how we go back in time and go, I can't believe that's what people did, you know? It's like you're judging it with the lens of 2025 when you go back and look at, 1200 BC or whatever.
There is a word in there. It says sincerity.
Yeah.
That is something. Sincerity is like it comes from one person. It doesn't come from a situation. Like fairness, it comes from a situation. There's two sides of a story, so we find the middle ground, and then that's the considered fair.
Yeah.
So sincerity is like, I'm being sincere right now. This is what I'm thinking about. So probably that never changed.
Sure.
And it's the same as what you said.
I like
Ties
sincerity.
into openness.
Yeah.
No, which one was the one that you said, Dylan? Honesty. Because also is driven by the person. So, yeah. So sincerity, and but that's the thing. Sincerity, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think being sincere is a good thing to be, but you could sincerely be an asshole, you know? It's not necessarily someone being nice, you know?
And being sincere to someone, hey, you're being a little annoying.
Yeah.
And, you're being sincere to the person.
There's another word up there, openness, and I feel like openness and sincere are very similar to each other. It's like,
Okay.
It has all to do with the expectation also.
yeah.
Sincerity, a lot to do with the, like you expect that I say. Because I don't know. If I don't know the whole story, you might think that I'm not being sincere to you. But I just don't know. I simply don't know something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you judge me as if now you're being sincere here. I'm not. Well, how about this? I didn't know. And now you don't believe me. You already create a biased view of me.
Right.
And then you won't believe that I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, so
it gets to the level of the education of each individual. All right.
Yes.
knowledge.
Yeah, as you go hyper specific into situations, you'll find a million of those where it's not really anything you said, you know? It's just that it's received the wrong way. Yeah, so whether that's sincerity or any of those things.
Sincerity is an interesting one, Hilton.
Yeah.
You know, that since you brought it up, because there's people out there that are like, I sincerely believe, you know, I need to be a murderer or something, you know, like they can be, like Dylan was saying, they're a complete asshole, but they have like sincerity is like they genuinely, wholeheartedly believe they have to act or do something because they're right. Like that's sincerity.
You see the case of the Pizzagate? Do you remember the case of the Pizzagate?
Yeah.
The guy sincerely believed there was cabal in that pizza place, and he went there with his, like, I don't know, 10 guns. He opened there, he picked hostages, went down, went everywhere. Nothing. There was nothing there. Nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody eating babies or whatever, drinking blood from babies' head or something. He truly believed. You can say, well, how are you going to say that? He was being sincere based on his faith, when he was being fed. This is only one case. We can bring many here, right?
Yeah.
But that's one case, I think, that is
I mean,
typical. Really bad. You're being sincere from your point of view, but what is the limit that society will accept?
I was thinking about something positive, not negative.
If you look into Pizzagate, there is definitely a lot of like confusing, conflicting information that's really weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime stuff happens, people throw disinformation in there on purpose, so that when you start looking at it, like, there's so much ridiculous stuff that you just disbelieve the whole thing. It's like a CIA tactic. They talk about it on Rogan all the time.
What is this Pizzagate thing? Can we pull it up and have a look at it? Or no?
This is a little older
Is it?
now.
It was during Obama's presidency.
Yeah. It was like a conspiracy that there was like top level government people, politicians that were using this like symbol, and it was supposed to be directed to this pizza thing, and like they were using code word language in emails and text messages where it was like, I ordered 1,000 pizzas, or I got the context of how they were talking about pizza did not sound like they were really talking about pizza. It was very weird and strange.
Okay.
They started breaking down all these emails and trying to figure out. But having an opinion about something or believing something is a lot different than acting on it too. So clearly that guy had a moral chord struck where he was so bothered by it, he had to go do something about it, even though it wasn't real.
He left his family. He had a duty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's somewhat of my issue with organized religion, is I feel like it's very radicalizing. And I shouldn't even say I feel like, it is very radicalizing. And there's not many other groups like that call people to do things other than like cults and these types of organized religion, that it's kind of gross to me how that gets connected with some of the best people I know are like very religious, Christian loving people, but they get grouped in with all of this other stuff where they're just like radical, I was called to do this to protect my family. It's like, I don't understand that, but it's not really for me to understand. I think that's how I break all this stuff down. That's how I move on to the next day. I will never understand that. But that guy, it made perfect sense. So I don't know. I think what's alarming is there's a lot of people out there like that. And they're walking amongst us, and you have no idea.
It creates a motivation, right, for people to doing these kind of things, right?
Well,
on something that they believe on. Yeah.
Now it's ramped up even more just with recent political events that are happening, where just anytime someone doesn't agree with something, that's the next step, is showing up with guns. So it's just become the norm. It's not anything new here in America, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was one question that I asked a friend, and there was like, well, these people just like when that Charlie Kirk got murdered.
Yep.
And then, people like going on the internet and like praising, the person that did that, right? And of course, there's all the people saying, hey, he's a monster and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was in the car having a conversation with somebody, and I said, how would you feel if somebody killed this particular person? And then immediately, they went like, oh, yes, I understand now.
Yep.
So I should not express any opinion. So like, exactly. It's a human life that got wasted. But for some people, that's a happy thing. Yeah. And for some people, it's an unhappy thing. And then they're like, oh, okay.
Tying that into the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing that happened too. And it's like, depending on where you fall politically, you either champion that decision or you don't. I think that's silly too, because doesn't really matter what side someone leans if it's kind of like a political agenda. When it happens to someone on your team, then you're going to be upset. And it's like, maybe you should just not support government interfering with, people saying their opinions online. This is not Brazil.
You see, at this point, America should now look inside and say, hey, is this happening because we want it to, or because there are external forces manipulating masses to think this way? Because the weaker we are, the easier it is for any kind of coup.
Yeah.
Because we think about this and that and this. There's so many interests. When everything is weak, all the connections become weak. It sometimes it gets one chain to break, and then to go through. So right now they should ask, hey, who is manipulating that? Why is it's being manipulated? This man, I'm here. I'm saying one side and the other side. I'm honest. I'm not talking about only the administration. I'm talking about both sides.
Generic.
In general, but it's polarizing in a way
Both directions.
that you gotta ask right now. Why is this so polarized? Is this because of us, or the external effects, or there are someone inciting this?
I don't know. You got a country of whatever we are, 400 something million people. It's difficult to say. I think it's similar to like you get FBI, somebody undercover working in with like organized crime, for example. What's the first place they always go? They're going to find someone's wife. They're going to find someone's nephew, like someone on the outside to manipulate or to, I'm going to get something on you and then you're going to be my in, And it's like, if I'm going to go to war with people, if I can get them bickering with each other first, that makes my life easier. So I think over the course of time, we've had a lot of propaganda, from both sides. And where does that stem from? I don't know, because it's
information distribution is, like
Someone
algorithm and TVs and stuff.
But someone owns the rights. Someone owns these channels. Like, they can promote what they want to promote. They can manipulate headlines.
We're in the middle of a shutdown right now, right?
A government shutdown.
Government shutdown. How does that help the country itself? How does that help the country?
Interest rates will go down.
I mean, we've had many
Because of the
government
shutdown?
shutdowns.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the
Well, you asked what's going to help. That's going to help the country because then interest rates will go down. Refinances, jumpstart the economy.
I don't know.
I didn't even know there was a shutdown thing. But
Yeah,
We have them all the time.
yeah, I've heard of that before. Yeah, but I didn't pay much attention
I was in the
in
airport
the news
one
these
day,
days.
in the middle of a shutdown. We spent like 6 hours in Atlanta because of that. It was very slow. Very slow. Yeah.
Oh, that is because they shut down because of the money spent kind of thing.
It's about budget,
Budget,
like
yes,
approve a
yes.
budget or
Yeah, I
not.
remember that now.
Both
Okay.
sides have to agree, and if they don't agree, it's shut down until they do.
Yeah.
Well, but
you could have
I think, Konrad, you didn't
indefinite.
get what I was going through, because I know your argument is, I'm saying that for the country itself, because you're out, but for the country, like shut down like this, this kind of shocks that reduces your GDP, like the forces, because it causes confusion, because now it's one, then you think it's going to be good, and then when the other government comes in, it's going to be the opposite. What I'm saying is that this internal fight during an AI era where everything is growing super fast, some nations are growing super fast because they don't even have you can't even confront them. So they focus. You're telling in the beginning of this conversation that during war, you get a lot of inventions, and society, finds different ways to, So this is what is happening when you have another country doing this, while the democracy is slowing down the U.S.
Exactly.
I mean, it is the price. Because you don't want to give your freedom away. So it's either you give your freedom away or you grow slow.
No, for sure. I wasn't trying to be facetious in any way. I can't say that word right now. But you just said, what is the benefit? Sarcastic. Yeah. You just said, what are the benefits of it? And I said, interest rates should go down. I just read an article where they were like the economic uncertainty, and especially with all of these people not being paid, is now going to be a higher chance for the feds to come back with even stronger or more aggressive interest rates cuts, which are good for jumpstarting the economy. I was just answering your question.
Yeah, but it wasn't because that wasn't the point. The point was how it's like from a
top-down view.
Well, but it was a
Bigger view,
generic question, so
I know.
he
Yeah.
put a point to the answer, but
Sincerity
It
from
dep-
my heart.
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the point of view of the answer, right? So he just put a point of view that he read recently because of the question, because it's a generic question. So if you put the question up with a little inclination, then there might be a different answer, right? Or
True.
based on whatever other people's knowledge, right?
But I spoke
Yeah,
based
I
on the context that we are talking. He was not here.
Okay.
That's the point. That was the point.
Gotcha.
That's
Yeah,
why-
and that's what I meant. Yeah. I didn't get
Yeah.
the whole thing. I just heard the
I don't know
question
that-
to it. So
I don't have any like specifics. I just think to bake a cake, you have to break some eggs. So it's definitely not a position anyone in this room would want to be in.
compromising.
well, that's why it's called bipartisan.
Yeah.
Bipartisan. You're going to have a give and take on both sides.
Yeah. But
Something's
by
gonna
the egg
happen.
thing, I just mean like sometimes change is ugly. Like to get the change that you want, it's not always peaceful. It's not always pretty.
But that's why you force your hand as much as possible you can.
But
And that's why we have guardrails to not allow that to happen either one side or the other.
Right.
Otherwise, man, next time, what do you expect was going to happen when the other side gets in?
Exact same thing.
It's going to be, just as it was way harder this time, man. It's a pendulum. Like if you pull it too hard, then we're going to have this, and then this whole, as you mentioned, right, this confusion, happening. You're not growing.
Yeah, but at the same time, why is the other time, when the pendulum goes to the other side has to be harder than this side. And then it's just like the, what is that
Vendetta.
fight? What is that fight when people are pulling the rope?
Vendetta.
Tug of war.
Yeah, tug of war, because it's just like a tug of war in that, sense. Like, hey, I'm going to beat you harder next time.
Yeah.
When I'm in power, and then I'm going to beat you harder, and then just going to, yeah. But so when one side eases it off and say, hey, let's just cut this rope and then let's start a different game. You know what I mean?
Think about an MMA fight. You won, and you go there, man. You're a sour winner, right? I mean, next time I play with you, man, I'll bring with all my weapons, and if I win, you see how I'm gonna celebrate this. This is the point, like you just mentioned at the beginning, an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's the Hammurabi's code.
Yeah.
There is no fight club.
No, there's no Illuminati either. I just think you can't not do something because the penalty is a shutdown. It's like that can't be the only reason, because it's still preventing you doing what you want for. Someone's counting on that, Someone's counting on the shutdown's gonna happen. You can't allow that to stop you. The same reason, like someone comes and knocks on my door, and I'm a single mother of 4 kids, and I know you have money, and if you could just give me $5, and the expectation is you can't say no to that, but no one's prepared for someone to say no to that. But then when you do say no to that, they're like, oh shit, It's a weird analogy, but it's just I think there's like outside pressure to try and twist the result of something. And that's kind of by nature why it's happening in the first place, is because you're kind of fighting against external pressure for it to be the opposite of what your whole agenda is. There's a reason we have these whole conversations in the first place. That's why this country, half of everybody agrees with you and the other half disagrees with you.
And it seems like you have to agree with everything that your half says.
Agrees with, yeah.
You have to agree. You have to agree with everything.
Or you're cast out by them, yeah.
Or so,
Which is the purest definition of tribalism.
So-
If you're not part of the tribe, you are out of the
Out
tribe.
of the tribe,
And
yeah.
that's where we all exist, in my opinion, in the middle, in the gray, Like, we do not all have the same opinion about everything, but we all can talk about it and move on. And I'm not, like, pulling your feathers from my flock because you didn't agree with my opinion on abortion. Like, that's just one, you know what I mean? But that's what the right does, You can agree with a bunch of things, but I don't agree with your view on abortion. They're like, well, screw you. You're not Republican. It's like, okay. People want to be a part of something really bad, usually. that's encoded into us. But I don't think you should jeopardize your views on things just to be a part of a club, you know?
And also this necessity of being binary. Not you, but you know, like no, the necessity of
Double meaning
is it yeah, is either one or the other. You know, yeah, exactly. Of course,
That's a very very current topic.
Very woke of you,
I joke
George.
No. He was actually going for the binary of like, hey, it's either
I know.
right or wrong, but then there is.
No,
Hey.
man, I mentioned that because I know.
I know.
that-
Yeah.
I saw you in your eyes.
You saw it right out. Anyway,
Well,
so,
that's a good one.
It's too woke for me.
yeah.
Hey,
I didn't
Conrad
have
and
my,
I
didn't
like
have my afternoon cappuccino. Okay.
Man,
Conrad
you're-
and I like
you're-
birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that talk? It was a great talk.
Well,
There
dude,
we
we're
go for the
we're just way too American for anyone to ever tell me when I cannot consume something that I want. So maybe we just avoid Italy, man. They don't get us.
I just go
They don't
there and
get
just order a cappuccino at
Fucking problem.
12:01.
Hey,
Just
I go
stare
to
him in
some
his face.
networking event at 3, and I am Italian as well, and I order cappuccinos.
hypocrisy.
Hey. Hey, I'm in America, you know?
Oh,
Is that a good time to end?
that is a great time.
Yeah, no one cares about that lame ass country anyway. All right, guys.
I had fun.
This was an embarrassing moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Dylan, you want to take us out?
Thank you all for watching. This has been another featured presentation of Puff Drink Talk. We will see you all again next week, and we just hope that you maybe like.
Comment.
Share.
And subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, you're going to see us next week if you subscribe.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to have to search it again.
Yeah, who wants to do that? Subscribe.
Bye.
Ta-da.